Anticipation is the name of the game in life, and we all anticipate our next move. Well, my next move is actually Vegas Live with Ninon, that's where we are, is Cody Hancock.
Hello.
Now, Cody Hancock has been on my show, and this is a completely different interview than the one I just had. I mean, talk about chalk and cheese. We're now into fighting and boxing. You'd never think, I mean, you've got to be a real light.
Well,
I'm going to call him a lightweight.
I still got a little bit of muscles there. Here, feel it.
It's like a bloody rock. How are you, Cody?
I'm doing very well. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Actually, I've had the ups and downs, but that's life.
And we're here now.
And
that's
here
what
we
matters.
are, and that's all that matters. And I know that in your arena, there's a lot coming, no pun intended, there's a lot coming up. You've got a lot of things happening.
There is a lot of things going on.
Okay.
March 11th, for Pride Style, I will be wrestling a former foe of mine by the name of Jace Battle. And that one is going to be... there's going to be wrestling fans that are going to want to watch that. And if you haven't seen this...
Why are they going to watch this? Is there something different, way you're boxing or the way you're doing something, or what's the difference? Is it high end?
He's somebody that I trained for a bit of time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. And I also kind of lost his ear a little bit. And he's somebody that... He wandered and he did his own thing.
And then he wandered back again?
Yeah, so now it was more or less me that wandered back to him to kind of let him know, like, hey...
You need me.
There's a certain way to go about this, and I don't necessarily know if I like the way he's going about it.
Yes.
So I'm training really hard at Future Stars of Wrestling for this match, and this is going to be at the Versus Pro Wrestling Studios inside of the Boulevard Mall, so that's exciting.
That's exciting. And when is this going to occur?
This is the 11th of this month.
March.
Yes, 11th of March.
Of this month.
Correct.
March.
And then Future Stars of Wrestling is going to be having their Future Shock event this Saturday at the Future Stars of Wrestling Arena, and that is 6035 Harrison Drive. I will not be on the card, but I will be in attendance helping the wrestlers.
Why will you not be on the card? Are these just strictly people that you've trained?
They're more or less students from the Future Stars of Wrestling Academy, yes. So if you're looking to see the next up-and-coming wave of wrestlers in Vegas, it's a good opportunity to see that, and I will be in attendance, so people will be able to see me.
Yes,
but I'm just not going to be actively wrestling that day. AEW, who they're coming back to town towards the end of the month, and I don't have anything confirmed as far as work goes for them. But
it's all coming back because Vegas is coming back, so everybody's looking for venues, they're looking for places to perform, but you don't have to look for a place because I'm quite sure, wrestling, you have to have a ring, and not every hotel has a ring.
I have done shows without a ring before. I have.
Have you fallen off the side?
I've
nothing around to keep you in there.
I've actually done bar fights before. So sanctioned bar fights.
Now, bar fights means in a bar where there's alcohol, right?
Where there's alcohol. So, I mean, I've had a match in a place like this to where I've just kicked people in the head.
Well, isn't it? I don't think I heard that one. Isn't that kind of when they used to have those chicken fights and things? They would just all stand around and they'd put pins. I don't like to describe it, but they put pins and things in these chickens and what have you.
Well, we don't do it with chickens. We just do it with actual people
beings.
that are willing to participate in the action.
They don't get tied with these things on their legs. Kick someone.
But no, there's always something going on, and I mean, my dates get posted on my Instagram through my website.
And how's that? Where do they go to?
www.cutthroatcody.com, and then if you need to find me on social media, it's just at Cutthroat Cody on Twitter or Instagram.
Cutthroat Cody, all right. Let's get hold of Cutthroat Cody.
By all means.
So, he's out there, absolutely. So have the people you've trained, have you got, any of them got names? Are they big up there?
Absolutely.
Ooh, I heard, because then this will bring more people to your studio.
Of course.
Now, your studio is in Vegas.
The studio is in Vegas, yes.
Okay.
So Karrion Kross, who was recently signed to WWE,
wow.
He's back on the independent circuit now, and he's doing very well. I've also had an opportunity to train Chris Bay, who is currently signed to Impact Wrestling, as well as a member of the Bullet Club, which is a very, very popular pro wrestling faction that's based out of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I have a laundry list of students that have gone on to become paid professional wrestlers.
Because that's the idea, and you just said it. The idea is to get paid.
Oh yeah.
So you have to build yourself up, stamina, whatever, however it is, you have to build yourself up. And I'm not saying just men. There's women out there, right?
And
women wrestlers.
Maserati is another female student of mine who has wrestled recently for AEW as well as wrestled for Ring of Honor.
Any difference between a man and a woman of training them, of how they fight? I mean, because I'm sure women fight totally different.
Well,
sometimes
they do, but I train women the same way that I train men.
Cool
so
for you.
yes,
Cool,
well,
I like that.
Cool for them because they work very hard,
Yes.
and the same amount of contact and pressure that I make with a man, I would make with a woman, or we even have a child. His name is Bodie. He's 14 years old, and he's absolutely spectacular.
Is he one of the youngest ones out there?
He is one of the youngest out there. Yes.
So why don't we get him? Why don't we have him on set? And why don't we get him out there?
We might actually invite Bodie, young prodigy, onto the show.
I'd love to have him on the show. I mean, a 14-year-old on the show would be amazing, just to see his stamina.
And he's incredibly athletic.
He is.
Yes, I mean, he can do backflips.
He wants to be a wrestler.
He is a wrestler.
He is.
And not even once. He is a wrestler, and he's getting paid to be a wrestler.
And he's getting paid already.
He's already getting paid.
14 years old, and he's getting paid. See, it's the criteria of anything, is getting paid. When you start getting paid for something, then you know you're worth something.
Absolutely.
And to be worth something is like, God, I've got my talent is going good, or this is going good, or whatever the case may be. I mean, you go to a job, you get paid.
Absolutely.
But you only get paid for what you can accomplish.
And that's
otherwise you get fired.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that it's a long journey for wrestlers to actually break through and get paid in wrestling.
Is that because they have to build them? I'm going to my mom to build them like I got my.
You got something. You got guns. You got guns. I would say guns.
I've heard it all now. I mean, my muscles are now called guns.
They're guns.
Pum, pum, pum.
Take it to the gun show.
Oh, look at you. Look, hang on a second. No, but I do have muscles, and I had bigger muscles when I was younger. I've always been a bit of a tomboy anyway. I've always been very strong, very energetic. Always been very strong, always. I don't know why, because I don't practice, I don't do anything. I don't
Some
drink
things
water.
come genetically.
I don't exercise, I don't do all this stuff. But
well, all you gotta do is wake up and just be there.
Well, I don't know. Let's not go that far. If I can wake up and be there, give me half an hour.
Absolutely, absolutely.
To get it all together. Now at night, I'm a basket case because I don't like to go to bed. So I don't go to sleep till at least 1 because I have to see the stock market comes in at 1 o'clock.
There
or
it is.
1 a.m. And it comes in because it's coming from all the other countries, so I have to check everything out.
Absolutely.
So I'm always up. So after that, I'm done, go to sleep. So I'm kind of a late, but yeah, I've sort of achieved a bit in my life. But more than that, I want to know what you've achieved. You've got many, for wrestling, you've got many awards.
Well, I've had championships.
Championships.
I've had championships. I've held titles in numerous divisions. There was a point in time I was a heavyweight. I
wonder when that was.
I was an out of shape heavyweight. The only reason I was very out of shape. This is the only reason why I was a heavyweight. And I've had heavyweight championships. I've had junior heavyweight championships. I've had tag team championships. I'm currently in a tag team.
What is the weight supposed to be? Because it's like jockeys. You know, jockeys have to weigh 112, 110, 111. They have to weigh that kind of.
So typically anything that is under 205 pounds in the world of professional wrestling is considered to be a light heavyweight. So a light heavyweight.
So you're under 205.
I'm under now. I'm currently 200 pounds.
You're
currently 200 pounds.
So you're in very good shape.
Yes, and I was attempting to try to get back over 205 pounds, but it puts a lot of pressure on my neck. And my shoulders.
What happens to your neck?
Well, I get dropped on it a lot.
So,
but when my shoulders and things of that nature kind of sustain injuries. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
you use a lot of your upper body, which is actually what you do, because your lower body, which is waist down or carcass down,
yes,
you're dancing.
Absolutely.
You know, you're kind of, having this little rock and roll thing going on.
And I'm constantly in the gym too. So my fiance is actually a competitive power lifter. So I learned how to lift weights.
You better behave yourself with her. Or she's going to pick you up and throw you out.
You were mentioning being a tomboy. I've always been attracted to a woman that can take on somebody if I can't be there to protect her. So my
great.
fiance Casey can definitely take on somebody if she has to.
Cool. So how long has she been your fiance?
We got engaged during the pandemic, so it's been about 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been together 3 years?
We've
or
been
you've
together
engaged
about
3
4 years.
4 years being together, 3 years engaged. Don't you think it's about time you walk down the aisle?
And
Or are you going to spoil things by doing that?
No, I think that right now we're both in a situation to where we want the world to completely be set free. Thankfully, in Vegas, where the mask mandate is gone. So, and we're
free,
kind of back to living our lives.
Yes.
But I just recently got back from Washington, Seattle, and the mask mandate has not been lifted there.
Really?
When you travel
You gotta be
to other
prepared.
states,
Yeah.
you still do have to bring your
Oh.
mask. San Francisco requires you to have proof of vaccination to go into certain restaurants.
From where they get this world together, it's like it's all falling apart.
Soon. And as soon as we know that we're actually 100% back to normal, there will be a date. But as of right now, we're just enjoying each
But it
other's
doesn't
company.
matter because you've been together 4 years. Neither one of you are going anywhere.
No.
You're very much in love with each other. And I think, it's funny, two people together, I think a lot of it is more respect.
Yes.
I think a lot of it is respect and having respect and honor for that person more than all this lovey-dovey. The first year is definitely lovey-dovey and all that.
Yep.
And then it's so. And I always say, like every 5 or 10 years, I was married for 29 years. I always said, so every 5, 10 years, it kind of changes a little bit, but you don't notice it.
Right.
And you're going into this groove. And I think to grow together like that is, my mum and dad were married for 68 years.
That is fantastic.
Well, they were together 68 years. I think they were probably married about 64 years.
I think you can lump that. You can round up.
Yeah.
Let's just say 70. Just say 70.
Years. Yeah. They were, my grand old age. My mum died at 92. My dad was 88, and my grandmother 96. The other one was 95. So
My goodness.
I'm around for a little while. You're going to put up with me for a little longer. Put it that way.
Well, that's a wonderful thing.
So you've got all these incredible engagements coming up.
Yes.
And you're feeling very happy and comfortable about it.
Absolutely.
Is the wrestling coming more into Vegas now? It seems like it's getting bigger.
So, Future Stars Wrestling, the company that I train for and I work primarily for, they were one of the first wrestling companies to kind of restart in Vegas. There was a period of time in the early 2000s where there was 2 other wrestling promotions that kind of got ran out by the Las Vegas Athletic Commission. And once UFC became popular in Vegas, the Athletic Commission focused more on them than they did pro wrestling. So we still have to pay for insurance on buildings and things of that nature, but we're not required to get licenses and things of that nature, which has made things actually possible for pro wrestling to happen in Vegas again, which thankfully. So Vegas has become a very big wrestling city again. Back in the early days, in the 80s, there was the AWA that would run out of the Showboat. And so Vegas has always kind of had this really unknown wrestling landmark, right?
Absolutely.
But I'm super thankful to be involved with it.
I bet you are. One last question. What age should someone come in to actually start training? What age should they come in at, and what age should they kind of not depart from it? Because you'll always be involved in it, but not to be fighting or not to be wrestling anymore.
I think, I'm at 37 years old and I'm in the best shape of my life. So,
so you're not ready to go anywhere.
I'm not going
You're young.
Yes, but we take students that are, we have a kids class that's ran every Saturday morning, I believe, as long as there's not a show.
Yes.
So they're not going to be able to participate in the full warm-ups and drills, but they can participate in some of that fashion. And I think that once someone becomes about 16 years old, they can start really training hard.
Yeah.
And I think that ideally, there's people that have started at 13 years old, and there's people that have started at 16, and there's even wrestlers that have started in their late 20s to early 30s that have become successful wrestlers.
Okay, so then when do you start slowing down? 45, 40?
Around that? As long as your body can hold out, right?
Yeah.
It's
just like yours can.
Yeah, it's depending on the person and their activity level. I've known people that have wrestled in their 50s. But it's not very common. Most people cap it around about 45.
45, yeah, I figured that, around about 45. And then they go into management and training and all sorts of wonderful stuff. How can anybody reach you?
So just Cutthroat Cody on Twitter and Instagram, cutthroatcody.com. And then if you do come down to check out a show, definitely stick around to say hello. We would be happy to have you.
Absolutely amazing. Well, he's an amazing guest, and it's lovely to know that wrestling is definitely in Vegas and doing very, very well, because it's an outlet for me to let the younger generation have somewhere to go.
Absolutely.
Rather than being on the streets and getting into trouble or drugs and all that stuff. Because I believe in wrestling and most of those sports, you have to be pretty clean.
Oh, yeah.
You can't be coming in, half high or whatever. So
it's a very true statement.
Yeah, and keeping them in, but giving them something to do, so when they go home, they've got something to talk about with their family. They can practice at home. I'm sure they can get a Christmas present, punching ball, whatever.
Be careful with what you do at home.
Be careful what you do at home. I absolutely agree. Thank you for watching Vegas Live with Ninon. And don't forget, we have our producer, which is Maria Pureza, and also Social Media Shows is who actually produces the show. And also we are Mariposa. This is the most amazing restaurant. They have lunch, they have happy hour, and they have dinner. And you've got to come in. On the outside of the outside, but when you come in here, absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. We'll be right back with our next guest. Take care.